On first down, Smith. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. 4 yards on the dump-off at second down. And certainly a key cog in this offensive wheel is Jeremy Maclin.
You've just got to find ways to get him the ball, whether you put him in the slot or put him out on the perimeter.
Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. On the ground, it's the first carry here for Jamal Charles. After a gain of 5, no offense for the Colts.
Mike Adams can cover receivers whether he's playing in the slot or outside the numbers at cornerback.
Short yardage situation. Here's Charles. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Here's Smith. Screen pass to Charles. Jamal Charles, nobody in front, and all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Jamal Charles, 66 yards, and the Chiefs are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it, and we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And the kickoff sails out of bounds, and that's going to be a penalty.
You can see the looks on the faces of the rest of the team. You have one job to do. Just kick the ball and play.
Well, that's exactly right, Charles. The kicker, this is just inexcusable.
Absolutely inexcusable. Everyone out there slugging it out for the entire game. Execute your job.
Now they'll pitch it back to Gore. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
There's so many things that go into playing the position of linebacker. Some of them are actually subtle. Doing the drill work that you do all the time in practice and carrying it over to the game. Get rid of blockers and get to the ball carrier and knock him down for a loss.
To throw on second down is Locke. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. Good point you brought up before the game is you hear great quarterback-receiver duos. You think Manning, Beckham, Roethlisberger, Brown, Ryan, and Jones. But Luck and Hilton, how about these two? I mean, T.Y. led the league in yards in 2016.
And a lot of it done from the slot position. And he's one of those guys that can work inside, but they can also stick him outside. He can go deep and make big-time plays. T.Y. Hilton is Mr. Excitement with the ball in his hands.
And he's got his man Hilton. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on third.
And fit's the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
On first down, it's Gore. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. It'll be second down. Here's the offense guy that's highlighted on the screen.
You're talking about pure speed. T.Y. Hilton can get down the middle of the field and really stretch a defense.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. On second down, here's Locke. Caught on the right side by Dorsett. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
From the red zone now, Locke. Looking for Allen. Conley's got him on the slant. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Back to the ground game here. Gore. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Frank Gore, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Colts have tied things up. They can take the lead with the extra point. And his kick is good. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. And he's going to be out of bounds on the return. Not a great return. They'll start back around the 17. And now here comes Kansas City. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, give up a score last time now and get the ball back for our own offense. Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. On second down, Jamal Charles. And some space here. Evades the tackler, and now some space. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin as the Chiefs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. And they've got it here with a first down. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. A first down carry here for Charles. And past the 30 down to about the 27. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They come out here in the eye. They'll try the air now with Smith. And Conley's got it over the middle. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. From the red zone now, Smith. An incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. It's a 4-receiver look to the right side. Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. Caught, Kelsey, left side.
There are certain words that sometimes we overuse, but there's one that's really welcome on a player's resume, and that's the word breakout. And I thought Travis Kelsey was one of the breakout stars of 2016 in the NFL. What a season he had with Kansas City.
Over 1,100 yards. Now, to put that into perspective with everybody else that was catching the football for them, the next closest had 593 for the Chiefs. So, breakout year indeed.
And for me, it's how he did it, because he did it in a variety of ways, whether he's an inline tight end, a guy who could split out and really become a wide receiver, and then when he caught the ball, he ran like he was a running back.
Here's Charles, and he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. Give him 2 yards on that play, and the decision to go for it pays off. They've got a 1st and goal. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. Here's Smith. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. David Perry in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
They'll come out in the pistol. On 2nd down, here's Smith. And this is caught. Jeremy Maclin. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Jeremy Maclin from 17 yards out. And the Chiefs are going to jump back in front. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back. And they will line up now for the 2-point try. Here's Smith looking to throw. And this will be caught as they convert here for 2. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. And the possession switches to Indianapolis. Here come the Colts. As you look forward for them, after 3 11-5 campaigns, back-to-back 8-8 seasons, missing the playoffs, but appears Chuck Pagano will be the head coach again. Many thought he might be on the way out.
He's staying, brand new general man, 8 seasons. In the AFC South, that only puts them about 1 game out of the playoffs. So if they can make any type of improvement, they have a chance to get back into the playoffs where they were for the previous 3 seasons.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Simple slant route, and part of a really nice hard throw by the quarterback.
Nice timing between the quarterback and the receiver. They were perfectly in sync, and he put it right on him on the inside route.
On 1st down, it's Love. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Chris Jones in there to bury him for a loss of 11. They'll come out in the pistol. So an entertaining first half, and now we have hit the 2-minute warning. Here's Luck now on 2nd down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd. They're going to hurry back to the line now. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. 3rd and long. It's Luck. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And got his man complete. The 20. Touchdown, Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton, 84 yards. And the Colts are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Tyreek Hill on the return. And he's going to be out of bounds across the 50. Great return. And now here comes Kansas City. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, and they got it for a touchdown. Last screen pass to Charles. 7 yards there on the first down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
To throw on second down is Smith. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. A nice gain of 21 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
10 yards still left on second down. To the air again, Smith. And Hill with it over the middle. Hill's hit, and he lost the football. And the Colts pick it up. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Very tough spot here for the offense to start. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Following the fumble recovery. And Luck is going to run out of time and out of luck as well. It's a safety. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems. And this qualifies as a big problem.
Returnable for Thomas.
Another miss.
Still on his feet.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a first down throw. It's Smith. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Here's Smith now on second down. And complete. This is Albert Wilson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On first down, it's Smith. Looking deep here for Macklin. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Jeremy Macklin, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
On 2nd and 10, Smith. He's going to go up top again. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
I'm not quite sure how he wasn't able to hold on to that one in the end zone. A great opportunity lost, but a lot of relief for the defensive guys. When they get into film next week, they're going to want to know what happened. Where was the breakdown that almost allowed a touchdown?
And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good, and that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So they get the 3, increase their lead to close out the half.
Excellent way to end a drive, going to the locker room with a little bit of extra momentum after adding 3 to their total.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. Short kick. One of the up middle take it down. And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up over the 40-yard line. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Quan Bray now to return this football. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there, just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. The third quarter starts with a run by Gore, and able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Now that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Yeah, the defense definitely showing blitz here. On second down, here's Locke. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Third down and 5. One receiver left is Hilton. To throw is Locke. Going for Hilton, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. They'll try and get the running game going with Jamal Charles. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Smith now to throw. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down. The line to gain is the 33 on third down. Again, we'll see the pistol here. And an encroachment penalty here will cost them 5 yards.
And it makes it so simple, doesn't it? An easy free 5 yards for the offense given to them by the defense.
Another pistol look here. Now it's Smith. And this is going to be incomplete. Travis Kelce, the Pro Bowl tight end, the intended target. And fourth down coming up. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
This would have been a 54-yard boot had they tried a field goal, but they will not try a field goal. They're going for it. Here's Smith. And this is incomplete. Little lull in the action here to go over an offseason storyline. It's kind of interesting. L.A. a couple years ago, they have no teams, and now they're going to have two with the move from San Diego to L.A. What does that mean for the league and for the Chargers?
It seems like an easier transition, doesn't it, than St. Louis when they moved back to Los Angeles.
Less culture shock.
Less culture shock, less, obviously geography, the whole deal. But it's a transition is not going to be easy. Remember, they're going to go play in a soccer stadium essentially for at least the first couple of years before they share a stadium with the Rams. So that changes things. Obviously trying to create an identity in the market they haven't been in a long time. They began as the Los Angeles Chargers, but only played one season as such.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. One receiver left is Hilton. To throw on second down is Locke. Drops it underneath to Gore. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 12. And that'll be good for an Indianapolis first. Toss. It's Gore. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes, it's not a very successful play.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gore. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise is Robert Turbin. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Throwing his Locke. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. Back now in Indianapolis. It's the Colts, so they've got the football, but they've got work to do, trailing here as we begin the 4th quarter. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Another pistol look here. From the gun, here's Locke. And this is complete. It's Allen. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And he takes this this one in for a Colts touchdown. T.Y. Hilton, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Colts can now take the lead if they convert the extra point. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Charles, the lone setback. 2nd and 10, Smith again. Caught, Kelsey, left side. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Smith will hand it off here to Charles. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. Still on his feet. 11 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big pickup, and guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
So they run it on 2nd down. Now let's see what 3rd down brings here for the offense. 10th carry now for Jamal Charles. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw them down.
Smith on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete. His favorite target, Travis Kelsey, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
They come up in an offset eye. Back to the air, Smith on 2nd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the fourth quarter, and they got a big one.
Yeah, it's such a close game, a very big one. Throwing on third down, Smith. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Here's Dustin Colquitt now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled down.
Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
One receiver left is Hilton. On first down, it's Locke. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to launch this thing. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. He didn't, so it's incomplete. Boy, that one really could have turned this thing upside down.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times. Tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. Throwing now, Luck. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Here's Pat McAfee now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Screen pass to Charles. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
5 yards to gain here on third down. Back to throw. And it's complete to Kelsey. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
That throw has to be a quarterback's dream, doesn't it? Big tight end, curling in the middle of the field, so it's great sight lines for him. And when they show their numbers back to the quarterback, when they sit down right there, that should be pitch and catch.
Chris Conley, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route, going for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
And the offense facing a 3rd and 6. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Back to throw. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He'll look to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Vontae Davis. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
And that one? Oh, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw, and it'll wind up being intercepted.
And a great spot to start this drive from here. Shift together here from the D-line. Luck going to throw it. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Tamahali from his outside linebacker spot. He comes up to drop him for a loss of 10. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. The Colts are winners as we say so long from Indianapolis.
Like the clock is broken, never stopping, never slowing. Yeah, we're living wide open, unwinding every moment. Like the clock is broken, never stopping, never slowing. Yeah, we're living wide open. We know we are brighter than all the stars. As long as we're together, we'll stay young forever. We make the rules, break them when we want to. As long as we're together, we'll stay young forever.
I'm tired of this in the kitchen. But how else am I gonna get it? How else am I gonna get it? How else am I gonna get it? How else am I gonna get it?
I put it in your bitch. I got these bitches tripping. Was young, I wanted a Bentley. I promise I'm gon' but what's am I gon' get it? I had to trap out the vacant. Swerving around in Vegas. Mama, we finally made it. On the way to racks, I'm a trap star. She a ride like a the bricks in the backyard. Tell her how to on the white heart. I can't take her on a date. Here's a chicken dinner. Put my wrist in the pot. I could make it trip.
I'm tired of this in the kitchen. But
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's the Buccaneers going up against the Packers. With that, we send you up to legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis have the call. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Green Bay Packers. Now a pitch out to Lacey. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And a wide receiver to watch in this offense, certainly Jordy Nelson.
And most defenses watch him run past them. Jordy Nelson can run every route in the route tree and take it to the house.
Again, it's Lacey. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
Rodgers to throw on 3rd and 1. He'll set up the screen to Lacey. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. So they get the completion. That's good, but Charles, probably not good to get hit on the first play of the game.
No coaching staff ever wants their quarterback hit on any passing play, especially to start the game. What you're hoping is you have one of those tough guys back there. But sometimes when they get hit early, gets the juices flowing, and they get right into the game.
On first down, Rodgers. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. On the defensive side of the football for the Bucs, here's the lineup. You look at last year, 2016, 23 points a game, right in the middle of the league, but improved, I think. How do they look going forward?
Well, they did improve, and they improved throughout the second half of the year. They focused on communication. They cut down some of the stuff they were doing defensively, made it simpler, and they played a lot faster. And look, Gerald McCoy is a terrific player on the defensive line. You got linebackers that can run in Levante David and Quan Alexander. And I thought that Keith Tandy really emerged as a safety for them down the stretch and made some big-time plays. We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And let's see, the Bucs with 6 DBs, so a dime set here on third down. And that's incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Here's Jacob Shum. He punted for the Bucs in 2015. Now he's about to punt to them. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. They come up in an offset eye. And a first carry here for Charles Sims. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Now a second down throw for Winston. And this one caught by Cameron Brate. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
He can run for it, and he will. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Now that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3-and-out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a first down.
On 1st and 10, Winston. He hits Rodgers in the flat, and he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. That one good for 10 yards, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here. Now Sims. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Again, they run with Sims. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
The evolution of Clay Matthews as a player is just one that they're going to end up writing books about. He didn't even start until his senior year at USC. He didn't start in high school. And now he's at all-pro level in the NFL.
Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. And it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time with just punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Levante David in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel pressure coming, and they got him once again. Clinton McDonald never giving up. He's able to keep working and get him for a loss of 12. And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. Here's Jacob Shum now, standing just outside his own goal line. Oh, it's a wobbler here. It's fielded at the 45. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. So the ball switches back over to Tampa Bay, and as they get set in place on offense, Charles, talk about the running game and the O-line, where they stack up going in next year, because Doug Martin was only active for 8 games this last season. Rushing total dropped down to 400 yards, basically.
Yeah, they were fortunate they picked up Jaquiz Rodgers during the year, and he gave them some nice games throughout, but I start with the offensive line. They've got some good building blocks. Left tackle Donovan Smith, guard Ali Marpet. Great places to begin. I think they'll continue to try and fortify that offensive line because that will help whoever becomes their primary ball carrier.
So 2nd and 10 here. One receiver to the left is Evans. Now Jameis on 2nd down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Mike Daniels in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Winston now from the 50. He finds Humphreys. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. So he makes the grab and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving them time to complete that first down pass.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. A first down throw for Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. They come out here in the eye. Sims. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
They'll run it again with Sims. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now Winston on 4th down. Complete, he finds Bray. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. And that's what you've got your tough little slot receiver for, isn't it? Right there, those 4th down conversions in the middle of the field.
He knows that's where he has to make his living, and that's where he has to make plays to help his team. And no one is asking him to do anything more or less than do exactly what we saw there.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Winston now to throw on 1st down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You played through the receivers. And on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jake Ryan. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And he slings one that's incomplete. Oh, well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No, let's go.
I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they had been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year, they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a couple a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck, one of the better young quarterbacks in the game. They've got to get back to the playoffs. And Buffalo, brand new head coach, brand new people running the ball club. Let's see if they can figure it out, because I think defensively they can be awfully strong.
Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target, and it's 3rd and 5.
Have to give a lot of credit to the defense on that play. They were prepared. Ordinarily, when they take the big shot downfield to the big guy, that's usually a mismatch that the offense is used to winning. But the preparation showed for the defense, and they were able to bat it away.
Incomplete pass on 2nd down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on 3rd. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. It's caught. Nelson. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Rodgers now on 1st down. And almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and mini camps. We get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Keith Tandy. And an alley to run. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. 3rd down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
Oh, he missed the PAT. No good on the extra point, so a letdown there. And this will stay a 6-point ball game. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Packers get set to go. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 1st down, Rodgers. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Robert Ayers able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of a yard. And the offense behind the chains here, a touch on 2nd and 11. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Now Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. And now it's 3rd down. Will the defense dial up the pressure? Let's see. 3rd and 11. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Here we go on 4th down with Rodgers. He's going to try and go deep again. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Keith Tandy. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. On the return now, it's Josh Huff. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start the 3rd quarter. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
And while that play was unsuccessful to start the 2nd half, I'm not sure that you just totally abandon what you do running the football. Maybe you make some adjustments in your run game and do things a little bit differently. That doesn't necessarily mean you just go to the pass and do nothing else.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
And they pick up a 1st down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
That incompletion, Charles, gives me a chance to put you on the clock real quick. NFC teams last year that did not make the playoffs that might make a push this coming year.
Well, 3 that come to mind right away that we thought were going to be in 2016. Minnesota, remember the start they got off to before that didn't work out so well for them. Arizona, we thought they were a lock to be in the playoffs. In fact, many of us called them Super Bowl contenders. And Carolina, the defending NFC champs going into last season, they didn't make it. So I think that all 3 could return to former glory. I'm going to give you one way off the pace here. You ready?
Let's go.
The Los Angeles Rams. Ooh. They get the young quarterback going, and that defense continues to live up to expectations. They can make a real strong push in the West.
They've got the D. You're right. They just need the O. And let's see, the Packers defensively 6 DBs, so a dime look on 3rd.
Could play coverage or bring pressure.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Well, an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play. For the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. A 2nd down throw for Winston. That is caught at the 7th. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, 38 yards. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And they'll get set here looking for the 2-point conversion. Now whistles and a timeout signaled here by the offense, and that's their first of this second half. So they're going to go for 2. Winston to throw for it. That is caught. He's got it. And the lead will move to 14-0. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. Set to return, this is Jeff Janis. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game, a chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Brent Grimes. And they are going to take possession of the football inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. They'll run here with Sims. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
Now a second down throw for Winston. Steps away to his left. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
One receiver to the left is Evans. Winston looking middle, and it's incomplete. The tight end Cameron Brate was the target, and that'll bring up second down.
But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
From the 4, it's 2nd and goal. Now they run with Sims. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Charles Sims taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Bucs capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. The point after now for Aguayo. And he atones for his miss the first time around, as this one is up and good to extend their lead. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. This fielded at the 2. Stays on his feet. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because We often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Rodgers to throw on second down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. And now the Buccaneers offense gets set to head back onto the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
I remember growing up playing basketball. My coaches always talked about communicating on defense, making sure you talk on defense, know where your screens are, know where the cuts are coming from, who has who. Well, guess what? It's the same thing in football. Even though there's more noise out there, you can hear all the screams of screen, screen. This defense, the bench, everyone let them know what the play was, and that's why they were able to react and knock the ball away.
That goes for a gain of 31. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Charles Sims with now his second touchdown of this third quarter. And the interception by the Bucs D leads to a touchdown. Aguayo on for the PAT. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the second extra point he's missed so far. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. So bad mistake there by the kickers. The ball goes out of bounds. Now a play fake here on first down. He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. It's a pickup of 21. And the Packers are going to have a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from.
Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Jordy Nelson with an acrobatic catch. And the Packers get a score closer. And that was really just a great battle for that football on both sides. The result is a touchdown.
Ordinarily, I'd like to say it was a win-win, but it really wasn't because the defender, while he was there with excellent coverage, he didn't get the benefit, did he?
But he's not going to get chewed up in film session, will he?
No, he was right there. They'll tell him, okay, of course you need to knock the ball away, but they won't be too upset with him. He did his job for the most part.
So now after the timeout, they'll try for it one more time.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down. He's crashing. He's checking crash.
Get reset.
Check.
They'll run it with Lacey. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the two-point attempt is turned aside. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And out of bounds there on the kick. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They come up in an offset eye. Now a handoff here to his running back. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
Back now at Lambeau. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. One receiver to the left is Evans. Now Jameis on second down. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's third down.
When a ball's tipped in the air and falls incomplete, sometimes it's almost insignificant, but not in this game because 3 interceptions have already been thrown. So when this one got tipped in the air, you just had to wonder, could this be the 4th? Instead, it falls incomplete, and the guys on offense breathe a sigh of relief.
And he couldn't corral it. It falls down incomplete, but maybe not a big deal given this big lead.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable, usually an excellent target, and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
And they'll go ahead and down this one right on the chalk of the 20-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone. Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Second down now after the pass completion. They'll come out in the pistol. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now they're going to see more people stacked up in the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So third and long. And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on third and 12.
No surprise at all.
And this is caught by Jackson. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe. They're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
Jameis now on first down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And that's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set them back for second down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And now a first down following that long gain. One receiver left, 2 to the right. Winston now to throw on first down. This will be caught at about the 3. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Vincent Jackson, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. The point after now for Aguayo. Now, these have been no picnic for him so far. He's missed 2, but this one is good. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting. And continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and... no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Watch left, watch left.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Watch the run, watch the run. Ready, blue lady. Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Easy. Check. Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries. And that'll bring up second down.
How many times when we see an incomplete pass, we just look at the receiver and say, should have caught that one. That was a drop, and we just put it on the offense. How about a little credit for the defense there? They just forced an incompletion.
Yeah, especially after starting in a tough spot defensively, but a good start there on first down.
That gave them a little extra confidence there, starting, as you said, in a tough spot and being able to make a play on first down.
And they're going to speed things up here.
Ready, blue lady.
Third and goal now, maybe the offensive. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right?
No.
I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. He'll set up the screen to Lacey. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 6 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays. And on 3rd and 3, they decided to go with a dime package.
Yep.
16.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now Rodgers got to have this one. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And now here is another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. With that interception, he just set a record that nobody ever wants to set, and that's the most picks ever in an NFL game. 8.
The last time we saw 7, 2001, right?
Yeah, Ty Detmer.
He's with the Lions at that time. To get to 8, are we sure he knows what...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everyone, from Lambeau.